you could go into a university or college and really with one thing in mind because that's what you were told or that was what, but if you don't have exposure to other opportunities, to other things, then you may never know. I always use the example for a friend of mine. She is in the Foreign Service. I never even knew about that. I always joke and I'm like, oh my goodness, I think I would have done that if someone had told me that there was even a possibility to work for, for us, for US government in the Foreign Service and to be, not a diplomat, but to work in the way of supporting that. No, actually, she's well, to support the ambassador and all of that that's going on. I was like, I never knew that that was an opportunity. And so I think if you give that to young people earlier, and she said she didn't even know. She said, I didn't find out until college. But if you given the exposure to that information in high school, and maybe even middle school, but definitely in high school, I think it would open up opportunities. It's the same thing with many of the companies, that people would think about, for example, even fast food companies, you just think, oh, that's all that there is, not realizing that there's a corporate office and there's so many other aspects of the job. And you're like, oh, you only see the people at the front of the when you go to the fast food, and they're wonderful and they're needed, but there's so many countless jobs. And I think it's having that conversation to say, have you ever thought about, being a graphic designer that works for a fast food company? You're like, they do that? Yes, they probably do. And so you could work in there and have all of that. And you're like, oh, I never even thought of that. And that can even change your idea in terms of what you major in, where you're going to invest, because college is not free. So how you're going to invest your money, I think of it as an investment, your education. So how you're going to invest your money, how you're going to get the resources to invest that money, so that you have a really a high return on your investment when you graduate from your with your college degree, so that it matches a career that you really spend some time researching.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the saying, you can't be what you can't see.
That's it. I love that. Yes, exactly. That's it. Yeah.
So what do you believe that school counsellors and students should be hearing most about from these organisations? So if you were talking to the organisations right now, what would you say, okay, we need this, 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 and this? Like, what do you think the main things are?
I think the main thing is just really for them to share with students the possibilities. Just as I was using that example, I think that sometimes students will see just one dimensional and they don't realize behind this one company, there is a whole span of different people. There's people who work in HR. There are people who work, in processing. There are people who work in IT. So there's so many different possibilities, and they can be very specific to what you're looking for. For example, for one type of company that may do something with medical, and there's another company that may do something with automotive. And so if you have an interest in this, something that you have as a hobby, this is how you can maybe translate that into actually a career in that field. And so I think it's really important for companies to really share that with students, that they can take their hobbies, their interests, the things that they have, and really translate it into a career. And so there's so much that's out there for them as possibilities as students.
Yeah, definitely. So just lastly, what advice would you give to students out there right now that are listening? What advice do you wish you received when you're at high school?
Don't say no to anything. Just try it. I mean, just go try it. Because I think this is a time in your life for you to really try experiences. See if you like it. If you don't like it, it's okay. It's all right. This is a time where you really have a wonderful safety net. So if there is, a club, or there is an interest meeting for a company's coming to talk to go visit, go in and sit down in it and sit down and just listen. And the worst you could say is like, oh, this wasn't my cup of tea. But what could happen? The other part is you could come away with saying, wow, I never knew that this was an opportunity for me. I never knew that this was a possibility. So I just say for high school students, just if you see something, just try it out. There's no harm in that. This is the time to explore and really just begin to understand that you are at the beginning of your career. And so just explore all your opportunities.
Yeah, that's amazing advice. Sometimes I wish I was back at high school and had the world.
Yes, that's it. I'm telling you, can say, I'm like, oh my, but I'm like so excited for our young generation. And I feel so much hope because they are just so passionate about the world around them. They're passionate about Just, I don't think I was as engaged in so many things that I see young high school students are. And so I get on people when they give them a bad rap, because I'm like, no, they're not all like this. They may seem like that, but they're also, they're high school students, but they
Yeah.
really are. They have so much going for them. So I'm like, I'm excited to see what they will accomplish and what they will do.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like before this pandemic, I didn't know who all the politicians were
Yeah.
and all the, like, I feel like high school students now, they're going to be really savvy with politics as well. Like,
Yes.
if
Yep.
anything's come out of this, seeing your politicians all the time, I think it's going to make a lot of students go, hey, I can do a better job than that. I'm going to
Yeah.
do,
Yes.
and, I'm going to change the world. Or if it's a sustainability point of view, like when I was at high school, I mean, that wasn't even a thing, like global warming. Now, it's a massive issue, and so many students are passionate about that. So yeah, I feel like this generation are going to change the world. Like it's gonna be a really good generation in the next few years coming, for sure.
I am. I'm very excited. Like I said, I think that they are our hope because I think that I just see their passion and how they will move and push us and older, different generations to say, you know what, or push out the way if we're not moving fast enough to make change happen, which is okay. Because I'm like, you know what, I want to be better. And I think that's the thing I love, is that I feel as if they're pushing towards us to really having a better humanity, pushing for better humanity, which excites me.
Yeah, totally. Well, I really appreciate your time today, Nikki.
Yeah.
So nice
Thank
to talk to you.
you.
Like I said, I followed you on social media for a little while. I'm the one behind the Explore Careers Instagram. I've been watching you, and I've been jealous of your hair. When I'm back over there, I need to go to your salon, wherever you go, because I feel like
my braids. That's just old braids. I do them myself.
Yeah, I really appreciate your time. You were really good to talk to, and yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.